Alright, so for day one, again, I told you guys from the very beginning you wanted to start by making those tables, and then you had to tell me the transformation. So that graph was stretched, making it narrow. I changed my graph to be by 4s just so I could plot 5 points. If you didn't change it to be by 4s, your points might be just a little higher and you'd only have 3 points instead of 5. That's okay. Okay, number 2, my graph went by 3s since it was stretched by 3s. So, compressed. That is not compressed. Sorry. That is definitely stretched. I'm sorry. And reflected, so it's open down. If you have a whole number, it's stretched. If you have a fraction that's smaller than 1, it's compressed. Okay, 3 and 4. There's my compressed. You can see the graph's a little bit wider.
If you remind me at the end of class, but I just forget. If you remind me, I will.
I heard you and I was like,
I know, I was like, yeah. I was trying to ask people I normally ask, but then they all said no, and I was like, ah.
Okay, 5 and 6. Once again, we have compressed and stretched. This is also reflected because it's open down like a frown. For number 7, you could have had a ton of different answers. For 7, you could have had a ton of different answers. The only thing you needed to have, which makes a graph open down or have a max, is that you must have given it a negative. So you could have had any answer as long as you had a negative and a squared. Anything else could follow behind it as long as it wasn't higher than a square. Correct. That took me a minute. Okay, here's day 2. I have to get the get ready. It wasn't in this PDF. So just flip over one more day to the next day, and then we'll get the second page of 5-1, day 1 in a second. So I know this will take you a little bit. I'll give you some time to check that. Okay? Is everybody okay for 1, 2, and 3 if I pull up the rest of 4, 5, 6? So remember that max matches the inequality for the range, like min matches the inequality. If it's a max, it's always less than or equal to. And if it's a min, it's always greater than or equal to. Vertex form is really nice because the vertex form tells you the max or min. It's that K value at the end. So the min, -7, -7. So vertex form gives me the key features of the vertex, hence the name vertex form. Okay, here's 7, 8, 9, and 10. I think these ones are probably the trickiest. So I'll give you a few minutes again to check that. Okay. So in 11, a lot of you I saw when I checked this, because actually I already checked this homework for you, a lot of you had that you lost that negative, and the new correct vertex is -2, -6. Okay, on the back, once again, you were graphing. So I kind of created mini tables to help you with graphing those. For number 12, that graph is shifted up 4 because of that K value of 4. So there's your up 4. 13, it's an H movement, therefore it's left 3. Okay, so again, if you're struggling, copy down those tables. Make sure you're getting them. On your test, I'll be asking you questions like what was on the front with graphing from what's on the back. So like your quiz, when we get to that, we'll have questions like the front and the back all at once. So you wouldn't be answering like a question on the front and a question on the back. I'd be asking you all those details from the front. So like for 15, I would say, okay, what's the vertex? You would tell me 5, 0. Axis of symmetry, x equals 5. What is the range? Y greater than or equal to 0. Where is my max or min? In 15, it is a min at 0. Transformations is right 5. And what we do in section 2 is talk about roots. So we'll talk about that when we get to 5-2. Okay, 16 through 17. So these ones are a little bit more complicated. You've now added multiple transformations. Yes, honey.
So are they, like, is the x not 0, 1, 2 anymore?
Correct. That changed on day 2. Wait, is the x not 0, 1? You mean like in the table?
Yeah.
It is. So I didn't put the vertex on any of my tables because I listed it up here. So like your table might go 5, 2, negative 4. Do you know what I mean? Like I just didn't put the vertex on the top of my table. Those are all the second and third table values. And I think it's actually really hard to see. There is a negative on this. It just didn't pick up very well. And here. That's so weird. My negatives didn't show up. Are you okay with that? Sorry. And then down at the bottom, so at the bottom, you had to do like what we did on 7, 8, 9, and 10. You had to find, that is so weird, points like and stuff just didn't scan. You had to find the vertex on the graph and a point on the graph and then use it to solve for A. Like, why? Like, why are just certain numbers just missing? I have a hard copy. Like, what the heck? Okay? So if you go back to the other worksheet that was in your packet, I have those vertex answers for you. Like I said, I just didn't have this page scanned in, which now apparently what was scanned in was kind of crappy anyways. So at the top of that page, number 1 was 1, 2. Number 2 was 1, 0. And then the middle was 0, 0 for 4, and 2, 0 for 3, 0, 0 for 5, and negative 4, 0 for 6. What? Because they kept moving the, like, where the origin was.
What's 1 and 2 again?
1 was 1, 2, and 2 was 1, 0.
I was more talking about like where we wrote down the vertex. Like I kind of got confused.
Oh, yeah, I had erased everything.
Yeah.
You mean like you put number 1 at 3, you put number 3s in 4. Ah, because it was above the graph. I understand now. Sorry. I always tell you not to do math in pen. Alright, so what I want to do with you today is just do a brief review of vertex form. So we're going to open in our packets to that graphing from vertex form page. And I don't hear from you very often, so today's your day to get picked on. So I'm going to randomly kind of pull your names. Yeah, I have them in a random classmate picker. So it's going to randomly generate a name for me. Generator. You can try to get a little bit ahead. Okay. There we go. So nice and big. Okay, random student caller, period 4. Alright, so here's the way it's going to go. I'm going to pick your name and you can give me any piece of information you know. So, up first, Dakota, tell me anything you know. Like, you can tell me what the A, H, and K are, vertex, anything.
The vertex is
Yeah, so here's our equation. So we have y equals negative, parentheses, x plus 3 squared plus 4. What does a negative in front of everything do for me?
Make it all negative.
Okay, so what's the transformation word for that?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's go, we'll bump to Colton. Colton, give me something.
The vertex is negative 3, 4.
Perfect. The vertex is negative 3, 4 because it's the opposite of the first term inside and then the last term outside. Bella, give me something.
Which one?
Do you want to do axis of symmetry?
No, I meant which one.
Oh, you Bella, sorry.
Okay, max is y equals 4.
For axis of symmetry?
Oh, no, for the third one.
Okay. This one? Range?
No, the third one. The min or max.
Oh, min or max. Sorry. You know, I heard you and I was like, what? It is a max and it is y equals 4. Thank you. I'm sorry. Losing my own mind. So yes, we have a max because A is negative. So that tells me my graph is open down like a frown. Okay. Oh, Olivia's not in here anymore. Garrett, give me some. Is Garrett here? There he is.
The range is y less than or equal to 4.
Perfect. My range is y less than or equal to 4. Okay. Zach.
Isn't the axis of symmetry x equals negative 1?
Okay, it is x equals, it's not the a value though, it's the h value, so instead of negative 1 it would be negative 3. Okay, Madison, can you tell me what the a value would do to this graph, what that negative does? Perfect. So a is negative 1, which means my graph is reflected. Okay, Micah. The h value is negative 3. So what's that do to my graph? Yes. It's left 3. Very good. Okay, and max, my k value is 4. What's that 4 going to do to my graph? Excellent. It goes up 4. So we talked about how the table is always 0, 1, 2 for x. In this case, my h value is negative 3. So I'm subtracting 3 from each of those. So Nick, what's the first value in my table? Excellent. Okay. The next value in my table, Joseph. Good. And Colton, S. What's the third value in my table? Perfect. Okay, then for the second part of the table, it is ya plus k. So it's y is 0, 1, 4. A is negative 1. And k is positive 4. Ryan, what's the first value in my table for y's? Perfect. Okay, next. Sorry, my phone went off. Okay, Aaron, what would the next value in my table be? So you have 1 times negative 1 plus 4. Good. And Reese, the last value?
0.
Excellent. So now what we do after we have our table and all that key info, we graph it. Okay? So my graph has 3 points from my table. And then we know that if the graph goes down 1 and right 1 from a point, it also goes down 1 and left 1 from a point. This goes down 4 and right 2. So it also goes down 4 and left 2. And this line that goes through that, that's the AOS. That's your axis of symmetry. Let's do it again for the next example. Okay, first up, Lindsay, give me anything you want to start.
The vertex is 3, -4.
Excellent. My vertex is 3, -4. Okay, Molly, what else do we know?
For AOS,
Excellent. AOS is x equals 3. Okay, Jordan. It is a min. And at what value is my min? Excellent. It's at y equals -4. Okay, and Rob, what's my range?
Y is greater than or equal to.
Excellent. Y is greater than or equal to -4. You guys are awesome. Okay. All right, we have Ryan. What's one of my A, H, or K values, and what's it do?
Well,
You can pick any one.
2.
Okay, so you pick 2. Yep, A is 2. And what does that 2 do to my graph?
It reflects or stretches.
Yeah, stretches. Okay, Colton C.
The H is 3.
Excellent.
I moved it to the right 3.
Awesome. Okay. Sorry, my phone went off again. Okay, oh, Rob, you got picked again. What's my K value?
K value is -4.
Excellent. You know what that -4 does to my graph?
What do you guess? That faces it down upwards.
Okay, my graph is open up. That's from the A. That -4, though, is going to move me down 4. So K is my up or my down. It's okay. That's why we're going through these, guys. Just, okay. Isabella J. Want to give me my first x coordinate in my table?
3.
Excellent. Okay, Dakota, you want your redemption? What's the next value?
4.
Excellent. All right.
I don't think that's redemption.
That's redemption.
I thought we had the definitions. That's what I started doing.
It's
But
all
that
good.
was very wrong, so.
We're good. Okay, Nick, just for that, I'm not even going with my caller. What's the next value? I think you said it, but
Yeah, 5.
thank you. All right, so the YA plus K goes 0, 1, 4, 2, plus -4. So now it's like -4 from each of those. Okay, so my first value, max. Good, -4. I feel like I wish I had better hearing sometimes, guys. Okay, Garrett, my next value. Good. Okay, and Colton S, my last value.
0.
Careful, what's 4 times 2? Yeah, so 8 minus 4 is actually, yeah. All right, let's plot those points. Oh, I just drew a line on my paper. So remember, this graph is symmetric. So if this is up 2 and right 1, it also goes up 2 and left 1. This graph goes all the way up to 4 and over 2 to the right, so it's going to go to 4 and left 2 from the axis of symmetry. So if it helps you plot your points, kind of like I lightly drew in my axis of symmetry in red, you can do that as well. So if it helps you to see how far away they are, you can draw in that light little line or dash it. Just don't make it as dark as your graph line. Okay, so your homework is the next 12 problems. I know the directions tell you to identify all of that. Here's all I want you to put on there. I want you to tell me the vertex, and I want you to make the table. So I'm not going to make you go through each graph and do everything. Just give me the vertex and the table, okay? And then obviously graph it. And then tomorrow in class, we're going to do the next few pages. So this isn't due till Monday. So again, this isn't due till Monday with the next 2 pages that we're going to work on in class tomorrow.